Good evening, everybody, and a warm welcome to another series of TLC Talks with Preeti Muzumdar on our page TLC Sirius. Today, I have with me one of the veterans of TLC, one of the most distinguished language and IELTS coach, Miss Anita Purohit. Warm welcome, ma'am. Good evening.
Yeah, thank you so much, Preeti, for giving a warm welcome. Hi, everybody. Very good evening to all of you today.
So how are you, ma'am? What's happening?
Yeah,
How are things?
Yeah, very nice. Thank you. As usual, I'm very much bugged with all my things and activities.
Okay. So, Anita ji, what I'd like to know about you is that what is your story? I mean, what did you start with? What are you doing right now? What is that you do coaching and training in?
Okay. My life as an educator and a trainer started sometime way back in 1991 when I joined Mumbai University as a professor in physics, the Kalina University. So then I'm basically a physics person, but I diverted my field the moment I joined UDFL for my learning Italian. That was way back in 1991, actually. So I developed my passion and fascination towards learning languages then and there. So it was 1991 which opened up a new door for me, actually, I should say. Besides being called as a physicist or physics person myself, then I gradually developed my interest and inclination towards learning different languages. So I learned Italian from UDFL. Then again, I learned it for 3.5 years almost. Then I
Wow.
learned 3.5 years. I have learned Italian from Delhi Italian Consulate. I cleared my exam, topping the exam among a group of 30 people, and slowly, my teachers were all native. I had Maria Pala and Maria Rossi as my teachers. So it was really good associating with those people, native trainers and all. I got to learn a lot of things coming in close with them, just not learn the language, but I was very much keen on learning their culture, the way of living and all. I happened to travel to Italy, Milan also that time for a couple of days. Then slowly I developed my interest in learning different languages. Like then I learned Chinese. I got to learn Chinese from Yang Yulian. She was a trainer again from Taiwan, and she was teaching students in my institute, and I was a backbencher listening to people. But then just by listening also, like I responded to questions asked by her. So she could make out that this lady can learn language. So I started learning Chinese. This was way back in 2000. So 2000 to 2002, then I went on learning Mandarin. I cleared all these international exams, HSK 1, 2, 3, 4. So then 2002, then I started teaching Chinese even since 2002, 2003. So this is how my journey started with being a linguist. I could call myself as a linguist then and there.
So, how many languages do you speak? I mean, national and international put together. What?
Besides my mother tongue as Oriya, I can understand Marathi, Hindi, I can speak Hindi, I can speak a bit of Marathi, not so fluent. Bengali, I can understand and I can speak a bit. These are the Indian languages when it comes to international language. I can speak Italian, Thai, and Mandarin very fluently. And at the same time, I can understand French and Spanish also to a great extent. So I feel very much fortunate learning all the languages and interacting and visiting those countries also. I was in Shanghai for a month, almost a month, met a lot of Chinese people. That time China and now China, there was a lot of difference, I should say.
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah, this was 2019. I had my golden days staying in Shanghai. So I visited a couple of universities there in Shanghai, and we had gone there, a couple of teachers from India, we had gone there for a training, teachers training.
Yeah. Your book, your book was, you gifted me that book of yours, and it was lying next to my bedside table. And my daughter happened to pick it up and read. And she saw at the back of the cover, you have mentioned that you have visited so many countries. So she said, Mama, seriously, this auntie has actually gone to so many countries. I said, yeah, nobody puts up that kind of stuff on a book. So how many countries have you actually gone to?
I feel very fortunate that I have traveled to USA, traveled to UK, traveled to Singapore, and traveled to Milan, and traveled to Shanghai. So my
Wow.
last trip was Shanghai. That was 2019. Now my last plan was to last year go to London again, but then this COVID, we were trapped, and the COVID has turned things upside down. This is a new chapter in my life, I should say, going online and developing myself and distributing our skills and abilities through Zoom to people around across. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, COVID is a boon. Also, I should say COVID is a curse. Also, it
Very
is
true.
like two sides of the coin. How we see the COVID, right?
Correct.
So
Correct.
this is it. Like,
So, Anita ji, tell me, language learning, is it for everybody, or you should have some basic potential or skill? Like I know that, see, I'm a South Indian, and I think because our language is so tough, we end up speaking a lot of national, regional languages. Like in our family, everybody speaks at least 5 to 6 languages each. Okay, is that because Tamil being a very language very close to Sanskrit, I kind of developed or was exposed to that environment to learn? Is there any connection there? Is my question.
Our question, yeah, definitely. One language is just not one language. The language originates from different other languages. Say, for example, if we talk of French or Spanish or Italian, the base is Greek and Latin. There are a lot
Okay.
many words in Italian which originates from Latin and Greek. And because of that, even English language originates from Greek. So there are a lot many words which are similar in Italian as well as in English also. So that is there, So there are some origin is something different. We have to understand the origin of the language when you are learning a language, which is very, very vital. But again,
And yeah. And so my next question is that, can anybody learn an international language, or or is it very difficult? What would you say?
Yeah, definitely. Either you pick. There are two categories. If we classify, you have European languages and you have cluster of Asian languages. When it comes to Asian languages, we have Japanese, Chinese, Korean, Thai, all this, and Arabic as well. When it comes to European languages, we have French, Spanish, Italian, German, and all. So either you intend to learn European language, or you want to learn, Asian language. Your base has to be strong in English. English base. The prerequisite is that one has to have a proper base in English language. That is the prerequisite. Nothing else is needed. But in my experience of teaching people all the languages, I would like to say, I have taught a person, Urdu-speaking person, a gentleman from Bandra. He was not knowing English, but he wanted to learn Chinese. So he orally he learned. He wanted me to speak the Chinese, and when I was speaking, I had to be on the contrary more conscious. I had to speak Chinese with proper tone and pronunciation. And he was listening and writing in Urdu. So that was the toughest job I have done, I feel. That fellow learned Chinese through Urdu. He was writing in Urdu. Then he used to read whatever he was writing. जैसे कि wash your Anita, I'm Anita. So he used to write wash your Anita in Urdu.
Wow, that is amazing. I think that is a beautiful way. I think it's called transliteration, the language that we think in, and the language that we want to learn. So I think it also appreciates, and it's a point to appreciate and kind of recognize here is your ability to work with every kind of person who wants to learn. What kind of people come to you? I mean, what are the reasons why people come to learn languages from you?
See, when it comes to the reason of learning a language, there are various reasons, and there are people also, different category of people. There is a need-based learning, and there is just for learn for the out of fun. It's like a hobby. Mostly housewives and all, they have extra spare time. They come to learn because I have spare time. I want to learn French. I want to learn Italian. So they come and learn. They don't have that much of that vision that for this reason I would like to learn. They just like to learn because they have extra time. Then students, those who are going abroad for higher studies to Italy, People go for fashion design. Many people from Varsoba and all, I have from girls, I have trained in Italian, those who go for fashion design studies and all. Then students go for, automobile engineering studies, gemology studies, they go to Italy. They learn Italian. Then China, lot many universities are there. Students go to study there, they learn the language. Singapore, Malaysia also, these are the belts where people speak Mandarin Chinese. So even students those who go to Singapore these days for higher studies, they come to learn Chinese. So students learn and then housewives learn. Then I have majority of people, those who learn are, business people, import export. Those are into marble import export. Those are into footwear exports and all. They come to learn all the languages and all. So, and then IT sector is another belt, those who learn the languages. So this is how it is. Right.
Okay, so basically, tell me that one reason is that people learn languages as a hobby.
Yeah.
Second is that they want to go to that country and learn, so they have to know the regional language, or they are trading with people from that country, and therefore they need to learn.
Yeah.
As learning a language for probably self satisfaction, or probably I don't know what's the word you'll use, but probably to engage your mind or get off stress or anything. Do you find people coming and learning languages for those reasons as well? I mean, how does language learning help in personality development or mindset building and things like that?
Yeah, to respond to your this question, I would like to say, when somebody is learning a language, different language, apart from one's own mother tongue, definitely you have to put in some extra effort and you have to exercise your brain to some extent. So it is got to be as that the person is putting in some stress, and having stress is always better. Your mind functions better. This is what I feel. Like it is always advisable to take more and more stress so that your mind functions in the right direction.
Okay, so it's
Right?
basically the creative and the logical mind needs that kind of motivation you're saying, and it works positively for your overall well-being.
Growth.
Is
Yeah, yeah. And mindset, developing your mindset and your growth, these things really help.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen this movie. I saw this movie called as The Interpreter, where this lady, she there is an African language called Ku, where she hears two delegates talking about a murder or something, and I was remembering you. So do you have people who learn this kind of language to kind of professionally take up and become
Oh yeah, very
interpreters?
much. On the in fact, I have escorted lot many Italian tourists, lot many in my life, and I have wonderful experiences. I would like to say a little bit here.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Now see, that was way back, couple of years back. There was a gentleman, 63-year-old Giuseppe. I remember his name. He was an Italian businessman. He had come to Mumbai and for some business thing. He was put up in Leela. So the Leela Business Center, they have my number and name in the
Wow.
business center. That this lady is an Italian interpreter. So they called me, take this person to escort and take him here and there for sightseeing and places of visit to. So this was a couple of years back, no doubt. So I took that gentleman because they were looking for a person as an interpreter, as you said. So whatever I was explaining in Italian, and that fellow also I took him here and there. So we went to Siddhivinayak temple. I took him to Siddhivinayak temple. That was my wonderful experience. I would like to share, and even though this is a FB, but I would like to share. The gentleman being an Italian, I took him inside, then we went, remove our shoes and all. So he was that scarf. He was not removing his shoes initially. Then looking at me removing my shoes, he removed his shoes, then went inside. Then I did Sastang Pranam in front of Ganapati. Then that fellow was just looking at me and he was not doing anything. Then after some time, something happened. Being an Italian gentleman, 63-year-old person, he also did the Sastanga Pranam in front of Siddhivinayak. So that was a very amazing and touching moment for me. Being an Italian person, I was just escorting the tourist as an interpreter. So these are all memorable time and moments for me, which will never fade away from my memory. I should
Yeah,
say.
so in a way, you're a kind of an ambassador for amalgamating cultures
Yeah, yeah.
internationally.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So I have, this is just one example, but as an interpreter of Italian language, I have so many wonderful experiences. such kind of experiences. So I can go on sharing such kind of things any number of times. So
yeah. So tell us a little bit about your book. I'm sure your book includes all these experiences as well that you've had as an interpreter. What is the title of your book? What inspired you to write this book?
yeah, coming out from the field of physics, when I entered into the field of languages and being the language training and escorting tourists, being an interpreter, translator, all these things, this was all going. And never I had preserved anything by writing something. So I thought, why not to writing a book? I can reach out to more people than I'm reaching out to people by meeting them or teaching them or training them. So that was another idea. Me penning down, started to pen down a book. In fact, my book, Multilingual Your Way to Success, this was published in September 2019. It took me one full year to write the book because I was highly occupied with all my activities, and I used to sit full night, 12 o'clock. I used to sit after my dinner and sit throughout the night. Many nights I have, won the midnight lamp, I should say, to write my book. So it took me full 1 year to complete the book. Then I took the help of somebody for editing and ultimately it got published. So that was my first effort to publishing a book. I have 4, 5 books in the pipeline, but I don't know how long it will take or
No, I'm
whether I'll.
I'm sure knowing you as a lifelong learner and as an ardent learner, I don't think you'll have any problem completing those books. We are eagerly looking forward to you publishing those books as well.
Let us see. Now my second book is ielts. Let us see how long it will take to complete the
That
book.
that brings me to a very interesting subject that you work on, which is IELTS. You also work with students who are answering IELTS. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, definitely. IELTS is one of the most competitive exam as on today, and people find it. Many people they have a notion that this is very simple to. Yeah, this is just an English exam, and we can easily prepare and write. But this is not the case really. The people, those who have prepared the questions, or they have written the book of IELTS, they are Britishers, and the Britishers are highly intelligent people, and the one who's prepared the book. I always think how much of brain the person has put in to prepare the questions and to prepare the books and all. Because teaching for so many years, what I'm doing, I try to drill and dig into the thing like how the fellow has prepared the questions. It is just not a teacher that I am teaching. I train, I have been trained and I am teaching people. I try to go deep into the thing and how the fellow has, what made the person to prepare such questions and all. There are 4 sections in the IELTS exam. You have your listening skills are tested, your reading skills are tested, your writing skills are tested, as well as your speaking skills are tested. So, the person who has prepared the questions is really, really smart enough. They try to drill the person. How much is the person's analytical understanding? It is just not a language exam, but it tests at the same time your linguistic skills, your analytical understanding of a topic, your listening ability to a different accent, and how much you listen and understand. These things are really tested. So it's not a child's play. One has to really, really put in proper effort and prepare for the exam and aim for a very high band score, like 8 band, nothing less than 8 band. The total band score is on a 9 band. You need to score. So you really have to focus on a 8 band, nothing less than a 8 band. This is what I tell my student to whom I teach, and nobody
So
has.
is the course structured? What is it, a month long course, or are there fixed sessions? How many sessions do you actually take and train them?
It is advisable to put in some. You should have some ample of time to prepare for the exam. Some 2 months minimum, I feel.
Okay.
As a trainer, I feel you should have 2 months time to prepare for the exam. Some people they hurry up and they end up getting a low score. So that is never advisable. You should plan in advance. If you are planning to apply abroad for your higher studies, you are planning for a Canada PR or planning for applying for an immigration, you should study well for 6 months, if not 6 months, 4 months, if not 4 months, 2 months minimum. And study well, write a lot of mock papers, understand what you're doing, so that, and then you write a lot of mock papers to understand what is your, where you stand so far the score goes. So this is the way how it is.
So roughly how many students have you coached so far? I mean, would you have a count? I'm sure you wouldn't have a count, but roughly if we have to
Yeah,
say.
maybe 1,000 since 1997. I have been teaching. Maybe more than
Okay.
1,000. I don't know. Maybe more.
All right. And they're all successfully placed now abroad and
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
all right. Okay. This brings us to the next part of our TLC talks, which is the rapid fire. Anita ji, it's so interesting to talk to you. We can keep talking the whole evening if we have to, but we have to move to the next step. So I'm going to ask you some questions, and whatever is the first answer that comes to your mind in a rapid fashion, do share. Okay.
Mhm.
So what do you think is your biggest blessing being a coach, or the biggest gift that you've got being a coach or a trainer?
Gift. I have an innate ability to grasp and learn new things. I keep my eyes and mind open all the time. So wherever I go, I try to learn, and I love to listen to people very carefully. If you are a good listener, this is what I believe. You are a good learner. If you are a good listener, you are a good learner. So listen to people, even though it's a 3 years old kid, but we should have the tendency, the habit of listening to people well. So this is what I have developed since my childhood, and I try to learn new things. I love to learn new things at different places, wherever you go, whatever whomever you meet. So this is what made me travel, have my journey so far in the field of education and training, and today where I'm.
And if I have to tell you that what has been the most difficult part about being a trainer or a coach?
Actually, perseverance and patience. Sometimes I lose my patience also. That is my negative, I think so. So you should have ample of patience to deal with any kind of students that they come in front of you. Even now, I am facing online. I am teaching to people English. I face so much of difficulty. Oh my God, it is so difficult to convince those people. So a trainer or a coach or a teacher should have ample of patience to deal with any kind of students who come in
Awesome.
front of you. So,
Awesome. And if I have to ask you, who has been the one inspiration in your life, one person who has inspired you, it could be somebody from your family or anybody you met. I think you've met some great personalities, the way I hear, so many different people from different nationalities. One remarkable person in your life, if I have to say.
so there are many people, those wonderful personalities and people I have made. I can 1, 2, 3, 4. I can number 10 also. I can number. But now, since we are in a forum and in a meeting, I would like to zero down on one person, and I would like to say 2 lines about the gentleman. He's Colonel, retired Colonel. He's a Colonel, retired Colonel Rathod, Narendra Rawat. He was my Chinese trainer. He's a retired professor of Chinese language. He worked in the army, Indian army, in the border. So because of that, he's a colonel actually. So and he was my Chinese trainer. He taught me Chinese for 3 years almost. Many things. He's a very senior gentleman, 70, maybe he is in his 70s. So he's very disciplined, being in from a field of army. I have learned lot of things from him. Not only I learned Chinese language from him, but being disciplined. How do you be disciplined? How we have to utter. You do not have to utter a single word from your mouth which is not palatable by the listener.
Wow.
Like,
that is such a beautiful thing to say. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting
I
you.
would love to say something here. One day I little bit said something negative about myself. I said Anita the stupid, Anita the idiot. I said in front of my sir, Colonel Rawal. So he immediately said, "You don't have any right to scold my student." He said, "You do not have any right to scold my dear student." So that teaches us a lot of things actually. He's
Correct.
such a disciplined gentleman. I have high regards for him. So even now, when he knew that during this lockdown I am teaching people Chinese online, he was very pleased. You are doing your duty in the right manner. So he was very.
I think you are awesome, Anita ji. Really fantastic work you're doing. One last question I'm going to ask you is, why should everyone learn one foreign language? What would you say is the reason why somebody needs to learn a foreign language?
Okay, to respond to this question, what comes to my mind is learning a foreign language is always beneficial in many different aspects in one's life. And learning a foreign language, we put in some extra effort. And again, as we said, you can add it in your CV. Mostly youngsters, those who are applying for a job and all, and people can get a job. And if not anything, if somebody is not doing anything, sitting in your house like this lockdown time, you can always take up translation jobs and all. Suppose you have expertise in Chinese language, you can take up a lot of Chinese translation. Or you have expertise in German language, you can take up a lot of German translation. There are many ways, I mean, apps and all to do translation, but you can do manually also. Do translation and earn wholesome amount of money one can earn. And live a peaceful life. You don't have to interact with anybody. Be on your own. Yeah, so that is very, very peaceful.
So if I have to ask you one message during this Corona time to stay positive, what will be that one message you'll give people?
We do not have to think many negative things, corona, this, that, and all. See, what I feel personally is, no, we all are living beings, living entity. The corona also is a living entity. So every living entity, they have right to live. That fellow corona also have a right to let him live in his own way and let we live in our own way. So why do
I'll-
unnecessarily cross the path? We don't have to cross the path among the corona and all. So we have to do our job and let the corona do its own job. This is my thinking. Maybe it is very silly thinking.
No, it is not. It's very interesting. I think you also comparing it as a living being because everything goes through a cycle. So I'm assuming this cycle will also end, and that's why Corona will die its natural death when it has to, I guess. So yeah, very, very well summarized. It has been really nice talking to you. I wish that, we had got a chance to connect with each other more offline and have more conversations. But
I think
unfortunately,
so.
yeah,
We'll
it is
have
really
like the Atria, that place where we had gone. So
correct.
we'll have
Atras.
Atras. Maybe we'll get more chance to have
Yes.
offline sessions like that.
Yes.
We can
All right.
get a chance to.
Yeah, we are very lucky to have you as part of our TLC community and for all the fantastic work you're doing in impacting a million lives, teaching foreign languages, motivating people to take up language interpretation as a business and make money. We're really proud of you, Anita ji, and we wish you the very best. Thank you so much for being part of TLC Talks today.
Yeah, thank you so much for listening to all the audience today. Thank you so much. Thank you, Preeti. Thanks, TLC. Thanks, Sirius.
Bye-bye. Good
It
night.
was very nice to meet all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.